you break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over. Well, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, so I want to talk to you about dressing the Thanksgiving table. Now, for me, this is fairly low key, which cracks up the crew because they've seen what I can do and they're like, is that it? Of course, I'm kidding. They think this is ridiculous, but it's going to get even more ridiculous as we move along. But let's start with what's here. So what I have down here is 8 place settings. Now that is the average amount of people at a Thanksgiving dinner in the United States. My family was way more than that growing up on the farm.
I too shall partake of more legume. If yon fair maiden will transport the vessel hence.
And I also know families that do a very small Thanksgiving dinner. That's fine, but let's use what we have here to show the average. So I actually have 8 plates that go together. You might not. That's okay. Use what you have. If you have 4 of one and 4 of another, do that. If you have 6 of one kind and 2 that don't match, put them on the end. No one has ever gotten up from my dinner table and said, I'm sorry, I can't eat here, nothing matches. Ever.
Rub-a-dub-dub, thanks for the grub.
So you don't have to match. I love to match, so that's what I did here. You might notice that I added napkins at each setting. The glasses do match, the napkins match, we have candle holders that match, and we have a centerpiece, which is pretty reserved for me, Jimmy's favorite kind of centerpiece, more low-key. It is kind of a cornucopia showing the harvest. We've got some pears and some apples and some corn, so it's kind of a theme in that way. We also have a theme with the tablecloth. It is a linen tablecloth that washes up beautifully. First time I'm using it. And we have some serving dishes that match. We have 3 that match, 2 others that don't, and 1 lonely guy over here all by himself. So what I'm showing here is what the table would look like if you serve food on the table. So let's see, we have a platter for the meat. We have bowls for corn or beans or potatoes, another bowl for a large amount of mashed potatoes. Now let's talk about the silverware. It doesn't always match because who has enough silverware for 8 or 10 or 12? Most people do not. So some of it matches, some of it doesn't. Again, I've never had anybody go sit down at the table and get up and go, I'm sorry, I must leave. My silverware does not match. People don't usually care. Truth.
It's funny because it's true.
So let's talk about the serving pieces. The serving pieces, some of them match. We have a sunflower pattern that matches on 3. We have a pumpkin harvest, 2 bowls, and then we have just our little guy over here with kind of that same fall theme color going on. They don't have to match. Why? They will be filled with food. So who's gonna look down there and go, oh, I can't have those potatoes, that doesn't go with the platter? No one's ever gonna say that. Just use what you have and make sure that it's pretty. It could be all glass, that would be absolutely fine, or it could just be white ceramic bowls. That would be fine also. So this is fairly standard. What I'm now going to do is I'm gonna show you what to do when you have too much food for the table, for this many people. We're gonna use the bar, and then I'm gonna take this opportunity to really kick up the design of the table. It's going to look spectacular, and you're gonna love it, trust me. Okay, Thanksgiving is officially bountiful on this table. What I love about this setting is I got to use all this brass, and Jimmy actually helped me polish this brass, so kudos to Jimmy. But I use different heights, they don't all match, and they are candle holders, but you don't have to put candles in them. I did run out to the cabinet and get these wonderful little gold tea lights because they look so good on that. But you notice that there are a couple, no candles, but I did find these tiny little taper chasers.
We interrupt this episode of Come On Over with some breaking news. Christine is found guilty of misinformation. The taper chasers she mentioned are actually called candle followers. We apologize for this confusion. In fact, we'll have a link down below for you to purchase a candle follower, along with some other items to make your Thanksgiving awesome. Now, back to the show.
It follows the candle down to help it keep its shape and burn better. So around that, I have put mums in the color of fall. I have put pears and apples. We have some dried flowers, some dried corn. We have birds here and there. There's some little fabric pumpkins. There are pine cones, because the pine cones do start to drop in the fall, just like when everything else loses its flowers and leaves in the outside. So does the pine cone. So all of this just screams fall. And the way that it's set up, it goes the length of the table, but people can still talk to each other through it. It's not like there's a giant floral bouquet here, which of course I would love to do, but can't. It actually creates this wonderful height. People can talk. It's beautiful. And generally, if it's at dinner time when we do eat Thanksgiving, the light will be fading from the outside. The lights from the candles and the brass will shine off all of it. It will be gorgeous. And so what this setting does is it frees us up to put all of the food on the bar, and that's where we're going next. So this is the setup if you have too much food, and who wouldn't want to have too much food? We got 2 platters, we've got bowls, different containers. If there's too much food for the table, just put it on the bar, remove anything in the way, and let your guests go through buffet style and take a seat at the table. That way, it removes all of this that would be crowded. I get to do something fun back there with a centerpiece, major centerpiece, and still have lovely food items here. And another centerpiece, which the crew despises, but they're not invited to my Thanksgiving, so there you go.
What the hell was that for? You hurt my feelings.
So there are many ways to handle a great big crowd or an average size crowd, but a lot of food using the space that you have. Don't be afraid to crowd more items on here. I could put some bread here. I could move things around and get even more food, some serving spoons, whatever we need out here will fit on this bar. It'll be enough room to then have people go sit down and enjoy their food at the table. And that's what it's really about. It's about meeting at the table and talking and laughing and enjoying good food on a holiday that is all about bounty. So I invite you to do that this year. Get your family together, dress your table, create an area for your food, or sit at the table and just have a great time at Thanksgiving. Don't let it stress you out. Bring out the beauty, bring out the joy of eating together. We've got a smaller planter. I just said planter. We don't have a planter. And so what I've done is I've matched where I can and didn't match where I couldn't. That does not make any sense whatsoever. So this, Jimmy would walk in and go, "How are we supposed to eat around this?" And I would say, gently, gently, very gently. Well, now the bounty of Thanksgiving has thrown up on the table. Maybe throw up isn't such a great word. Let's try something else, because who wants to hear throw up on the table?
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.